David Hunt, the president of Hunt Auctions, joins us now as he does from time to time. David, I know you got an auction coming up March 7th and 8th. Part of that is from the former commissioner of baseball, Bowie Kuhn's collection. Let's start with the commissioner's ring. I mean, I didn't even know such a thing existed. How much will this ring go for? Yeah, it's a really cool piece. We're honored to be representing the Kuhn family, and you know, interesting. Bowie was one of the most tenured commissioners in history, and this ring is a unique ring. It was given to Bowie right after his tenureship ended in 1984 by baseball, just to commemorate his career in baseball, and should bring about $7,000 to $10,000. It's a little bit unique, different than a Players World Series ring, so it's a little tough to gauge value, but in that range. Now, you also have his contract, which I believe was signed in 1969. What makes that such an interesting item? Yeah, I think it's just interesting in that obviously if you talk about a unique piece, I mean, Bowie's first season was 69, so this is the original contract signed by a lot of the dignitaries as well in the league that approved the deal, including Walter O'Malley, who this year will be inducted with Bowie into the Hall of Fame. So it's just kind of a neat coincidence, and it's when you talk about documents like this, or any piece for that matter, that comes from a primary source, whether it be a player, a commissioner, what have you, it adds value onto the piece. A little bit tough to determine, but should be at least $5,000 to $7,000. Does it say how much they paid him in 1969 to be a commissioner? I'm sure it was almost definitely not near what they pay him today, that's for sure, and not nearly what a player would get, that's for sure. All right. Bowie Kuhn often criticized for not attending the game in which Hank Aaron hit home run number 715, and coincidentally, I see some of the Hammer and Hank's mementos up for auction. First of all, before we get to the jersey, tell me about the handwritten note he sent to the Indianapolis Clowns. Yeah, this is a really special piece. We're also fortunate to be selling the things from Sid Pollock, who is the owner of the Indianapolis Clowns team, a Negro League team in the period. And, you know, as many viewers know and historians know, Hank Aaron was actually originally signed with the Indianapolis Clowns, and this letter was written by Aaron to Pollock when he was 17 years old. And the gist of it basically says, you know, my parents are okay with me playing baseball. I'll be there in the spring, and I look forward to seeing you. Respectfully yours, Henry Aaron. Just an amazing piece of history. It looks like he ripped it right out of his high school notebook, just the heading and the sincerely yours, Henry Aaron. It's a very interesting piece there. It is. I agree. And again, these unique pieces of history are things that can't be created. They're just things that occurred, and they really document the unique history in baseball. What about Hank Aaron's 1969 Brewers uniform? What would that fetch? Well, again, it's not the earlier flannel shirts. This is a knit shirt from the 70s towards the end of Hank's career. And obviously, if you had an early flannel shirt when he was with the Milwaukee Braves, it's going to bring a lot more money. But this shirt should still bring about $7,000 to $15,000 in that range, because this is most identified with that late period in his career when he was attaining and then obviously ending up breaking the records of Ruth. Is that knit or double knit? Yeah, well, I don't know. I'd have to check the tag for that one. But it's I'll tell you this: it's not. I'm imagining in August in St. Louis, it wouldn't be fun to play in it. No, I can't tell you that. Tell me about the Shoeless Joe Jackson, a postcard from the early 1900s. Yeah, this is a very rare piece. In fact, it's the only example that's actually ever turned up. A lot of people don't know this. Shoeless Joe Jackson started out Southern player, playing on the sand lots. You hear all the stories, but he actually started out playing for the Philadelphia Athletics. He was from Greenville, South Carolina, which is what the postcard pictures him in, the Greenville uniform. Went up to the Athletics, was kind of a head case. Connie Mack, the manager, literally had to chase him down from running away one time. He only played 8 games for him, went on to play for Cleveland, then Chicago. Kind of the rest is history. But this is a postcard dating to 08 or 09, literally, truly a rookie card of Joe Jackson, if you will. So it's a very rare and valuable piece. Hey, any idea how a paper postcard like that stays intact for an entire century? You know, I don't have an idea. I mean, that's why we put them in the holders we have them in now. It's a very good question. I mean, and that's really what determines a lot of the value of a lot of these pieces, as we've brought on today and over the years with you guys. It's just the condition. I mean, you do find some of these items, but not in great condition, and so condition is very important in the marketplace, not just for collectors, but also as an investment point as well. We're talking with David Hunt from Hunt Auctions, an auction coming up next week. David, I know you've had a lot of Babe Ruth signatures come across your desk. What about the one you have this time? Yeah, this is a unique piece, you know, in just the condition. We just talked about it, but you do see Ruth autographs quite often, and it's amazing. It really is a testament to who he was as a player and really a social figure in baseball history, because his autograph just continues to bring more money as the years go by. To find the baseballs are not that rare. To find one in this condition, quite rare. Should be about $20,000 to $25,000 given the condition level. Finally, a Sammy Baugh football card. Give us an idea why this is so impressive.
Yeah, we brought this one along. This was part of a group of 1948 Leaf, which was a gum company in the 40s, football cards that we discovered in an estate. They are absolutely pristine. They look like they were printed yesterday, and this one's actually the highest graded card of Ball, which happens to be his rookie card as well, that's turned up. Our estimate on this is 10 to 15,000, but there's a very good indication already, the sale being a week away, that this could bring 40, 50, 60, maybe even $75,000. It's an amazing piece.
Wow. Okay, those are some of the things that are up for auction next week, starting on March 7th. We've also asked viewers to send in some of the things they may have found in their attic or wherever. And David, we want to get you to assess some of these things. Start with the Packers football from Sharon in Portland.
Yeah, I mean, Packers stuff, what do you say? It's, the cheeseheads, it's part of football history. And again, baseball really still does carry the most weight as far as value is concerned. But when you talk about football, and especially early football like the Packers, these types of pieces bring quite a bit of money. So as such, I would say this football, most days would be about a $2,000 to $3,000 item.
Nice. Okay, next up, J-Dog in L.A. has a signed Shaquille O'Neal basketball with all the Laker titles engraved on the ball.
Well, it depends if the Suns start playing a little bit better, but, the fact that Shaq will end up being one of the greatest players in NBA history, no matter what happens with the rest of his career, this piece is a piece that's kind of a bellwether item, even being a modern item, like a Michael Jordan or Charles Barkley. It's still going to carry good value. Right now, probably about $200 to $300, but it should increase over time.
Okay, next from Keaton in Alabama, who sends us a picture of his 1989 Oakland A's championship ring that he received from his great aunt who worked for the A's. Now, because it's from an aunt, does that take some of the luster away from it?
Well, it does and it doesn't. I mean, it's still a world championship piece that was issued from the team, and this is very common, whether it's a trophy or a ring. The teams typically in the modern era will issue these sorts of things to front office, scouts, that sort of thing. Obviously, if it were a key player's ring, it would be worth quite a bit more. But even just as an authentic ring, it's certainly going to be $4,000 to $5,000, maybe even $6,000 to $7,000. So it still holds quite a bit of value.
All right, so Keaton's sitting on some money there.
He's doing well. He's doing well.
Next up, Eric from Ohio. He sends us this vintage 1930s uniform. He says he got from his great-grandfather, who was a Tiger Scout. What do you think of this?
Yeah, this is the big winner of the day. And you might not look, you think about the ring, fairly obvious, but this is a really unique uniform. Hard to say who the player is given the information we have, but clearly it resembles, and we checked the styles, a period uniform from the early 30s from the Tigers, and assuming that it would check out to be authentic, you're talking about 10 to 20,000. So he is definitely the big winner of the day.
It looks like it's a big fella, whoever it was.
Yes.
Mickey Lolich from 40 years before. Finally, we got a late 30s signed Yankee baseball from Mitch in Atlanta. Gehrig and DiMaggio on the ball. How much for this thing?
Yeah, again, another classic collectible, almost like the Ruth ball that we had earlier. Fairly nice condition, and whenever you have Gehrig, DiMaggio, those sorts of names, and it's an authentic piece, you're going to carry good value. I would say at least $2,000 to $3,000 with some good upside.
Hey, David, we appreciate you sticking around and assessing some of those goods for us. We got it free of charge from David Hunt of Hunt Auctions. His auction coming up March 7th and 8th, auctioning off some Bowie Kuhn paraphernalia and some other things. David, we do appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Not at all. Good to be here.
It's debut night for some new players.